We had two guest speakers, and because I'm thinking all the time, I said I'm going to do something freaky, right? And you all came to learn about investing, about real estate, but I'm going to try something very, very unique. I've been thinking about this presentation for some time. Probably should be longer, but I'll try to squeeze in as much as I can in 30 minutes. And I came up with this name, 3 principles that shape CFP Group, which is our company, right? But also can change or impact your life. So I'm trying to do something business and not business related. Not everything is going to apply to all of you, or not all 3 principles are going to apply to whatever you're doing in life, but try to listen, try to absorb. I'm going to send the presentation to you later on. Just read through the slides again, because some things really, I believe, they're life-changing. It took me a long time to understand, and I take a lot of classes, do a lot of personal development, so it's a summary of probably years of what I've done, of what I've studied, okay? Hopefully you'll enjoy it. So to start with, those who do not know CFP Group, it's just pretty much 2 of us. It's Ronnie and me on the front end with the support in the back. And I want to show you our business model, first of all, just to show you what we do with that. So pretty much it's really, really simple. We got partners that come to us, typically partners, or we call them project sponsors. They're looking for funds, right? Ronnie mentioned the deals and the skills. They come with deals and skills, but they say we need funds, or we need money to do the project. And on the other side, we've got investors, right? People looking to place money into different deals. And those deals sometimes are very sophisticated, so people cannot do it on their own. So they need somebody like us, could be any other company that specializes in real estate, but they need somebody who can advise, guide them, actually put the deal together, right? So we're basically a connection point between the partners and the investors. So as of now, we've got over 10 partners in Canada and USA. We've got over 150 investors in 6 countries, and we're in the middle, okay? So that's our business model. Let's talk about the principles. So there's 3 principles I'm going to talk today about. The first one is called the core focus, okay? You need to be focused, and I'm going to talk about that a little later. But for now, just remember, the principle number 1 is something called core focus. Principle number 2, something called Pareto principle. Now take a minute, please, to read it, because I read it about 50 times. I still don't understand what it means, okay? Just, yeah, okay? If you understand, let me know, because it probably needs to be paraphrased. But for people who do not understand, somebody like me, it's a more simple explanation. So basically, Pareto was Italian, I believe, Italian, right? From 19th century, and he came up with this idea. He said 20% of what you do needs to go to 80% of overall things. So basically, there's something very important what you do in your business, which is 20%, and you need to put 80% of the effort towards that. In other words, 20% of your clients are responsible for 80% success in your business. Top 20 investors are going to own 80% of your company. It's sort of true with our investors as well, because we got what I call true fans. So any project I announce, people say, Michael, I'm in. And there's a bunch of them, and they're repetitive. They go from project to project. And then there's 100 plus of others, they invest from time to time. And this is the simplest explanation. So you see 2, 80,000, and 8 people bring about 20,000. Now, that is true what was called old economy. So Dan Kennedy is a guru in marketing and in sales and personal development. I don't know if you've heard of him, Dan Kennedy, right? So he wrote a bunch of books named No BS, right? And the first time I saw No BS, I said, it's a crazy guy, but he's actually very, very famous. And he came with an idea, and he said, well, 2080 doesn't work anymore. In the new economy, with the internet, people can start businesses from homes, from the garages. You can do whatever you want today internationally. This is what he said. It's no longer 2080. It's, in fact, pretty much 95 and 5. So what happens is, and this book is written for the salespeople, he said that top 20% of the salespeople are going to get 80% of the money. The rest of 20% are going to get 15% of the money. And the bunch which is 80% of population, or 80% of salespeople, are only going to get 5% of the money, which is crazy. So I decided to look a little bit further, and I took this diagram from the site called Statista.com, and it shows the distribution of wealth in the United States last year. If you take a closer look, I hope you can see well, 0.1% of population, they own 12.6% of money in the United States. How crazy is that? Between 90 to 99% of population own 18.5. So between 10% of population in the United States, between them they own pretty much, 37% of all the money in the United States. So which leads us to the conclusion, so whatever you do, you need to be in top 5 or 10%. Okay, and those of you who are realtors, probably you know that, right? There's I don't know, 45,000 realtors in GTA today, right? I don't know how many. Probably around, how many?
88,000.
88,000 now? Yeah. So out of those 88, right, there's probably, I'd say, 10,000 who are doing great. Like really, they're killing everything, right? So think about, if you're a realtor, look at your brokerage and see really if this percentage work. But I believe the Pareto rule, especially the 95-5 ratio, works well. Now, the principle number 3, it's what I call typical happy life component. So this is a little bit sidestep from the real estate investing, but it's extremely important because whatever you do, you need to be in the right state of mind of doing things. So there are typically 3 components that most of us want in life, just to be happy. So let's do a Puria, right? We just met today.
Yes.
Did we speak before?
No.
Never, right? What would make you happy? Like, what's the most important 3 things in your life?
For me, probably good friends.
Friends.
My son, like family.
Family.
And I think it's like something around like meaningful work.
Meaningful work, meaning wealth, making money, being happy, right? So I feel like a magician in Vegas. Thank you for participation, right?
Vodka.
Right? So we never spoke, we never met before. Health, family, friends, and wealth. If I ask any one of you, like 95% of you would tell me this is what's important to us. You want to be healthy, you want good friends and family, right? And you want money, right? We all want money. Now, when I mentioned 95%, there's 5% who would not apply. And when I was preparing for the presentation, I saw this. Well, this is happy life for somebody too. So it's a Canadian cannabis store, right? That's awesome. So, by the way, I'm going to show some examples of what we do as part of CFP Group and some examples of what I do personally. Not to brag, just to show the example because this is the easiest way for me to show, okay? We cool? So this is what I do. I'm talking about health as the first component. So we all know that to extend life, we need to move. So I selected running as my choice. And just in case I need to be ready for this, that also is going to help. My goal, in putting all these principles together, my goal is to be in a better shape than 95% of people my age. I'm not going to disclose my age, but that's my goal. I prefer running. Those are my numbers, right? So last year I ran 550 kilometers, which equals approximately from distance from Toronto to Montreal, or 13 marathons. Now, really it's nothing. To people who run, who practice, and my pace, they would laugh at me. But a majority of population of my age, right, that's a lot to them. So my goal is to be in top 5% in shape compared to people of my age. So that's health. Now, anyone else could do something else. It was just my choice. Now, why is this my choice? Well, for me, it's also family, friends, right? So this is my family. And I'm just giving you an example of friends. So for family, it's important to me. I'll give you an example. My youngest daughter, she's 7. So I told myself, until she's going to get married, I don't know how many years it's going to be, I'm really, really going to be old. So I said, I want to be in a good shape when the wedding time comes. Right? So that's why I'm. Now, friends, to me, friend is somebody who I can call at 3 a.m. He would come, no questions, or the vice versa. So this is my 50th birthday, okay? And 18 people came during the pandemic, and we celebrated in Mexico. Now, you didn't come here to learn about me running or family and friends. You came to learn about money. So let me show you the ROI. The principle number 3, it's wealth. And as you remember in the beginning, I was talking about the core focus. So now it's time to bring it back and to put it all together. So in 1996, 1997, Steve Jobs was brought back to Apple. I don't know if you know the whole story. He was let go from Apple and then created a startup called Next, and then Apple bought this company, and Apple was on the verge of bankruptcy. So they brought Steve back. And when Steve sat at the product development meeting, he said, how many products do we have? At that time, the company had probably 12 different versions of PC. Every retailer would come to Apple and say, we need this version, we need this version. And then Steve said, guys, it's impossible because we don't even know what to offer people. We don't know what to sell. So Steve came with this simple idea. He said, we're going to do a PC for professionals and for consumer. Right? Desktop, it's going to be a Macintosh G3 for professionals, iMac for consumer, and then it's going to be a laptop, which is portable. PowerBook G3, iBook, only 4 products. That led to the whole revolution. They launched the campaign called Things Different. And well, we know what happened with Apple. We know about the companies today. But this is the starting point. From all the iPads, this is where it started. So this is what Steve said. Deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do. And think about it. This is the core focus. You need to know what the priority is, and you need to focus on that. So I'm bringing our business model now, and I want to show you what we focus on. So last year in 2022, CFP Group placed almost $7 million in US and about $2 million in the Canadian project. And it's basically only 2 people. So I just want to show you how we do it.